It's your number one newspaper review program by Standards at Newsstands on Flip TV. I'm Michael Adekunle. I'm taking you on to this edition of this program. All right, the Punch newspaper talking about the strike. Labour suspends planned strike. Talks continue today. Labour suspends planned strike. Talks continue today. Workers demand documents as federal government hikes salary adjustments. Lagos will pay more than 30,000 naira, says Governor Sanwo-Olu. Lagos will pay more than 30,000 naira, says Governor Sanwo-Olu. Let's see how Sanwo-Olu is going to do this. All right. 5 suits threaten federal government's $62 billion recovery from IOCs. Another story here. 45 billion naira bus chase. Ex-commissioner faces panel indicts Ambode. Let's move down to another story here. Down the paper. Air Force wings first female fighter pilots. Air Force wings first female fighter pilots. Of course, you can see the picture on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Court hears Showore's prayer on tough bail terms on Monday. Court hears Showore's prayer on tough bail terms on Monday. Fire seeks federal government's approval to toll Ado Akure Highway. Fire seeks federal government's approval to toll Ado Akure Highway. Families kick as Lagos exonerates dismissed killer cops. All right, another story here. FCT. 3 children abducted, 2 killed. Lawan meets service chiefs minister on worsening insecurity. Pension assets is 9.4 trillion naira. Pencom calls for vigilance. It's shameful Daura controls presidential villa, says Afenifere. All right, we'll go beyond this on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Let's join our reviewers for more talks. I'll be right back. Suspended strike is what you're talking about at the newsstand today.
Okay.
So what's your own take on it? Labour has been clamoring, shouting, even TUC, that's the Trade Union Congress. We're going to go on strike. Labour shouting, we'll go on strike. But at the end of the day, the strike has been suspended. Talks continue with federal government.
Well, I think it's not something new to us. It's not a surprise that they have to suspend it. Before, the last time we met, I think I told you that it wouldn't hold water. So they were just clamoring for something they can grab.
You said it.
Yes, once that is done and every other thing is immaterial. So it's high time we begin to understand who is representing us as a body, as an entity. Some people may come under disguise to hide under, under any platform in disguise, just in pursuit of their selfish interests, as if they are working for the masses. So, well, if it is granted, I wish them well, but I still believe that as far as this motion is concerned, it won't arrive at anything beneficial to the labor force. I've told you there is a misplacement of priority. Why did they suspend the strike? They have told Nigerians to stock food as if they shared money to Nigerians. You see? At the end of the day, they have to suspend it. Why? What does it take the federal government, a legitimate entity like Nigeria, to pay 30,000? Must it be deliberated and dragged for several months? When was this? When did they agree to pay this? It is over 6 months, and they are still dragging over it. Before the election, even before the campaign, they use it as campaign jingles and these promises. And what is happening today is just is something funny and disheartening. That even the senators and the House of Rep, they both chambers could squander billions of naira. How is the population in relation to the population of Nigeria? And they find it difficult to pass or approve 30 naira. 30 naira is almost equivalent to a bag of rice in Nigeria today. So if somebody should work for a cycle of 30 days only to come up with a bag of rice, isn't that a shame? Something less than $100. And well, I don't see anything coming out from what they are discussing, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you made mention of 30,000 naira is too small, 30,000. But Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, I'm talking about the president governor of Lagos State,
Okay.
he has said that he will pay 50,000 naira. Is it possible?
Of course, I said Lagos State, as far as everybody is concerned, is the center of commerce, is the hub of the economy.
He said he will pay more than 30,000.
So if he's paying more than 30, I expect him to pay 100,000 because the internal revenue can sustain up to 5 states if our governments are honest and accountable for what they generate and what they use. I don't see that as a big deal. He has the resources, the enormous resources within. Imagine the whole parastatal, the whole ministries and companies having their headquarters and establishment in Lagos. We have the seaport, we have the. Imagine somebody coming from China. He directed something to land in Enugu Airport, international airport. They diverted it. So Enugu is just airport, is international airport is just running as a fiction. It doesn't exist. You see, everything is channeled down to Lagos. So why shouldn't that be? So it's not a big achievement to cry out loud for.
Lagos State governor can pay more
They
than
have the
30,000
resources to pay 100,000.
100,000.
Yes, if they are determined and they want to do it. It's all about their political.
Now,
My advice to Labour is that they should go back. Why are they engaging with the federal government? What exactly did they need? You can see that inflation rates has gone up to 2 digits plus. And what has 30,000 to do to any working class Nigerian? Look at the rates of bills, and if 30,000 cannot just take away 30,000 from your NEPA bill and other bills. You see that you are going home with nothing. Let alone talking of transportation, health bill and all that. So you see that at the end of the day, the take home cannot take us home. Cannot take us home. Let alone sustaining an average Nigerian. So we should look beyond clamoring for 30,000 and see how we can address the fundamental issue that borders on the welfare of a common worker. See, this syndrome of casual workers should be abolished. It doesn't hold in Ghana. Look at Ghana, the neighboring district, and other African states. So why should Nigeria be a place where people dump their demonic ideas and all that? You see people, other foreigners exploiting Nigerians, getting richer and bigger at the expense of Nigerian citizens. We are now indirectly into slave labor, working for our tax masters. At the end of the day, they repatriate their riches and wealth to their country, and we still remain impoverished, exploited. At the end of the day, nothing to show for it. So they should go back and look at those fundamental issues that will border on the welfare of Nigerian workers, rather than clamoring and shouting around. This is just making noise. You see, how many Nigerians are even employed by this thing? We have other private sectors that are not paid, are not in the government payroll. So how is the interest of those workers protected? You see, they are using them as slaves, and labor force is doing nothing about that. So I think they should go back and think over what is their actions and how can this action improve on the welfare of a common Nigerians.
the government has come to understand the people. Do you know what they do? Like this divide and rule. You will discover that even some key labor leaders, after this meeting, they will just call them. What is your problem? They give them some money. They can go and tell the member. Well, okay, we are coming to dialogue. So we are, the labor of today is not the labor of those days. So that's just the only thing I say about it.
Now, what can you say about the suspended strike?
It's good. Let them go and negotiate. Let them go to the table and negotiate. Even the issue is not even, the truth of the matter, the issue is not even the increase in salaries and wages. The if the economic is okay and the prices and the deflation is down, you may not even need to increase salary. What you can buy with 5 naira, you'll be able to buy it. But when there is inflation, that is when you start agitating. So let there be, they should put pressure on government to make sure that the economic is okay.
That's economic stability.
Stability, the price will come down. Then whatever amount you are being paid, you should be able to manage it. That's it now.
Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir.
Gullible, they are weak, they are porous, in terms of decision. I think they are unconstant people. I mean the labor man there, over there. The guy is not somebody that has, strong policies,
Doesn't stand on his
he doesn't stand on his decision. He's a man that could, easily go back, spit and stay lick back his spit. So let me tell you, labor is very, very, I don't know what to use to qualify it. They are not strong. They are not solid in terms of decision. They are unstable.
In terms of decision making.
Thank you. I've been searching for this word, unstable. They are very, very unstable. Look at, they have now made a U-turn. It means that something has exchanged hand on the ground. Something must have happened after vocal, talking words, wasting time telling people that
Nigerians must have bought food and other
yes, to accumulate food in their houses because of the strike. But look at how they just easily decline from following what they said they should do. So I tell you, it's always Nigerian factor. It's always Nigerian factor. It happened during Oshomole era. It happened during the other man that was 90s. I tell you that federal government will still have upper hand over these people. Even federal government has now made a U-turn too. It's like they agreed. They just chip in some words to them that as if they have agreed with them. Sure, understand, honestly, but at the end of the day, they will still, betray them. They will not stick to their, promises. I mean, federal government. So that is it. That's Nigerian factor to you.
Raphael, it seems labor is not independent.
No, labor is not independent. There are people on the ground that control labor. Labor is dependent on federal government. They detect to the labor. I'm telling you. I was once a labor, vice chairman at Metropolitan Batteries Industry, Sangota, when I was working. I tell you, these people, they are dependent on federal government. After we discuss the issues at the background, at the cutting there, they will still go straight and collect money from government.
Deception.
Yeah, deception. They are deceptive. A lot of underground work going on. That's Nigeria for you. Labor, people now, currently, and the past. Management of labor, Nigeria as a labor agency, they are very, very gullible. They are deceptive. They are corrupt. They are weak. They are unstable. You can't trust them. Let me tell you, the outcome, you look at the TUC, Trade Union Congress, you look at Nigerian Labour Congress, there are many unions. You have Perewu, Precision Electrical, this thing, like I was there. I tell you, I was once, one of the controversial members of Labour, in my company where I worked before. Let me tell you, at the end of the day, government will carry the day, federal government. They will have upper hand. Because Nigerians, we are too gullible, we love money, we don't love ourselves. We can never stick to our policies. We can never stick to our promises. We can never stick to our decisions. Thank you.
I'm telling you, government will still have upper hand over them. Yes.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Raphael. Good to have you on today's edition of Bystanders at Newsstand. I'm talking about Raphael, and this is where we wrap it up with Raphael on today's edition of Bystanders at Newsstand. Do join us next time as we bring you the hot topic from the Newsstand. Latif Adebwale, very, very brilliant cameraman, always behind the camera, keeping his run from Flip TV. Michael Ojo, Bamishi Alawo, good editors also. Till I join you on the same platform. Still, Raphael.
Michael Adekunle.
All right. Bye.
It's nice having you around, always on the streets, extracting information from people who knows what's up on the streets.